All right, so we're recording, and oh, we have somebody popping in. All right, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and begin now. We might still have a couple of people trickling in. My name is Jamie Bachman, and sorry, I was reading one of the chats. My name is Jamie Bachman. I am a wildlife educator with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission and in a partnership position with Northern Prairies Land Trust and the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. I am a wildlife educator, so that means I teach preschool age all the way through grown up about outdoor Nebraska. I always say that I know a little bit about a lot of stuff. Bats, pollinators, aquatic ecosystems, community science. I take folks kayaking and turkey hunting, teach kiddos how to climb trees. My favorite age of folks to hang out with is early childhood kiddos. I really, really love my job. I have a super, super great job. Today you are here. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful evening. I will get through and give you all the information that you want to know about the Nebraska Bird Month 2021 BirdBlitz and iNaturalist, the community science, and Nebraska Bird Month. So we're going to cover a bunch of things, but we're going to do that in an hour, and we will still have daylight left to go out and play in the daylight and the like very little wind that we have in Nebraska, which is a gift. So if you give me just an uno momento, I am going to share my screen and get that all set up. Let's see here. So we need to present. And let's move this chat over here. One second while I adjust everything so I can see what's happening. Okay. So let's see. Donna Christensen, since you are my friend and that I know you, you can see the Nebraska Bird Month 2021 BirdBlitz logo on my screen. If you can, would you send me or somebody, sorry to single you out, Miss Donna. Can you let me know that you can see my screen? Somebody, whoever may be, just pop it in the chat and let me know that you can see the Nebraska Bird Month 2021. Yes, thank you, Teresa. All right. Okay, so like I said, this is what we're here for, the Nebraska Bird Month 2021 BirdBlitz. Let's see how many times you can say that 5 times fast. All right. Admit some folks. All right, here we go. So before we get started before we jump into Nebraska Bird Month and the round of things that we're going to cover this evening, we need to have a quick chat about the genesis of Nebraska Bird Month. So Nebraska Bird Month came from International Migratory Bird Day, which is started in 1993, and it was celebrated on the second Saturday in May. And eventually, International Migratory Bird Month joined forces in to celebrate World Migratory Bird Day on the second Saturday in May and in October, because you know the spring migration is mighty and full of that sensory experience as we lose the shackles of winter, but the fall migration is no underdog. So we now celebrate World Migratory Bird Day on the second Saturday of May and October, just swing it around, say it again. And this year's theme is Sing, Fly, Soar Like a Bird. And they are focusing, the focus is, the education and awareness focuses on bird calls and flight and feathers. So we wanted to bring International Migratory Bird Day, which was originally International Migratory Bird Day, to Nebraska in a really big way. So Nebraska organizers, the original Nebraska organizers, decided to create a month-long celebration of birds, bird watching, bird migration, and statewide agencies and organizations and community organizations and were invited to host a bird-related event. Big or small, just sometime in the month of May to help Nebraskans learn and appreciate about our feathered friends. All of these agencies community organizations, conservation organizations, kind of come together at nebraskabirdmonth.org website, and all of the events are registered here at this website. So you can search events by location, by date, and if they are virtual, because now virtual is a big part of our world. We also have resources and information. We have video tutorials. We have links to different other birding organizations and agencies. The events that are across the spectrum. We have bird hikes, raptor presentations, build a bird feeder, bird ID. So there is definitely a Nebraska Bird Month event close to you or near you, somewhere in the state. And so come on over to this website and check out what we have to offer you. All right, admitted. And one of the events in which you're here to learn about, one of the events is the Nebraska Bird Month 2021 BirdBlitz. And that's going on throughout the entire month of May. And we will be using the community science platform iNaturalist, and you will we're gonna add bird photos to the platform in a statewide effort to observe as many Nebraska birds as we can. So do we have any questions so far? I just worked in some stops in case I'm going too fast. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. I have my chat up and I am able to see if you need me to answer anything. Okay, we're just gonna keep moving unless I see something going on. So what are we gonna cover next? We are going to cover what community science is, what is iNaturalist, and how do I use it, and how do you participate in the Nebraska Bird Month 2021 Challenge. So before we get into community science, we have to make sure that we're all on the same page about what exactly science is. So the scientific method it's essential for developing theories that explain observed questions. So basically it helps us learn how things work in the universe. It's methodical and it's rational, and it helps us create a baseline of agreed laws that can when the results can be reproduced, and it always allows for new information to be added, which can actually change our current understanding of things. And what does it mean to be a scientist? Well, you make your life's work. You know, you make it your life's work to answer questions using the scientific method. And you can also pay your mortgage. It's kind of a yay. All right. So what is community science? Okay, we've figured out what's on that same page on what science is. What is community science? Ordinary people changing the face of discovery. I have a couple of quotes here. Citizen science is the collaboration between members of the public, community members, volunteers, and experts, okay, to answer legitimate real world questions. I really like this one. Community science enables participants to make a direct contribution to research, increase their scientific understanding, and immerse themselves deeply afield in learning about environmental issues. Community science rocks, you guys. We're gonna learn all about it. I'm excited to tell you about it. So how does community science work? How does community science work? So what, it's community science is a collaboration, like I said, between members of the public, the community, and the experts, the science researchers, okay? Typically, there is a sponsoring organization, whether it's a university or a conservation agency. They're responsible for developing the project, creating the protocol for collecting data. The sponsoring agency also provides you with training and support, like data sheets and how-to videos and workshops, especially in the virtual world that we have, that has become accessible to us. There's been so many community science trainings online that were not available, not so easily and readily available for us. So the sponsoring organization provides training and support. They're also responsible for collecting the data and analyzing the data that's submitted, even though there are some community science projects that the project actually is requests analyzing the data. And then the sponsoring organization also decides what to do with the results. And you, the community volunteer, the community scientist, your job is to collect the data and then submit the data. It's pretty simple. Communities, why do we do community science? So there just isn't enough, there just isn't enough resources, there isn't enough experts to collect the data that, the data needed for further understanding of all sorts of things. Science needs our help. Science needs our help. Also, there is community science adds value to the public understanding of science. And so when you participate in community science, you broaden and deepen your understanding of the scientific method and the scientific process. And we need that now more than ever, that understanding of the scientific process and how it works and why it works. Another really cool thing about why community science works is that community scientists, you know, they come from all walks of life. They have all different kinds of backgrounds and experiences, and they bring new ideas and insights to community science. And those insights can be really, really helpful, because in the world of science, sometimes we can get narrow-minded or tunnel vision. And so when we have people with new experiences and different backgrounds to add questions that maybe we thought we understood completely. And so that is a really cool thing about community science as well. Also, community science is also kind of has this snowball effect within the community. Is oh, I got distracted by admitting a person. 1 second. But community science affects the community, because when you participate in community science, there's a snowball effect of education and awareness and inspiration. You know, you are outside looking at your plants for pollinators, right? Because you're doing a pollinator community science project, and your next door neighbor's like, what is that nutter doing looking at the flowers all the time? Comes over and asks you a question. And this is how understanding and awareness and environmental stewardship happens, is through community, from the bottom up, through community, and through education and awareness. It has this snowball effect. So let me give you a little bit of history about community science. I think that this history about community science is so cool. So back in the day, community science, or science in general was more of an informal collaboration, and often left to those who could afford to think and contemplate. You know, you need to have money to have the time to observe and contemplate nature. or to observe and think of about science, not just nature. So it was not really a career, it was more of a hobby. For example, we have some famous scientists that weren't scientists. Darwin was a friend to the captain of the HMS Beagle, and he accompanied him on his world travels as his gentleman naturalist. Gregor Mendel was a monk. I like this quote: "The roots of science have always been in leisure time, spare time, and spiritual time." So that's where the roots came from. When you have the ability to stop and be quiet in your mind and observe. So in the 19th century, when money became available for research and study, you were allowed to distinguish yourself between those that made science a professional scientist and those that were a hobbyist of science. And then in around the mid-1990s, those that didn't have the formal scientific training, they became citizen scientists, and now we are calling ourselves community scientists to be more inclusive. But citizen science has been around for a very long time. A couple of examples here. In the 1800s, William Whewell and his great tide experiment gathered millions of observations from 650 volunteers in 9 nations along the coastal line, like sailors and coastal surveyors, dockyard officials. And this was before the phones and the internet. 650 volunteers, 9 nations, millions of observations. And he and his subordinate laborers, as he called him, subordinate laborers, they mapped the tide flows across the Atlantic. So that was our very first the beginnings of our understanding of tide flows. Another example in the not so distant past was the discovery of the monarch overwintering site. Nora and Fred Urquhart began tagging monarchs. They even created a system of tagging. They through trial and error, they figured out the best glue, the best kind of paper, and the best methodology for tracking the monarchs that were on the tags, the numbering system on each of the tags. So they developed that, and they also recruited volunteers by taking out, here's an advertisement in the Minnesota Citizen. They took out advertisements in magazines, wrote articles for newspapers, and it was because of this effort from Nora and Fred and their community volunteers that we discovered 50 years ago only where the OML fir forests that in the fall, all of the monarchs east of the Rocky Mountains, where they go to overwinter in the fir forests in south central Mexico. So those are just 2 examples. Science historically has made advances community science has historically made advances in ecology and weather and climate, and more with the help of volunteers, of community scientists. Okay, I think I covered all of the history that I wanted to share with you. Let's talk about some national community science projects that we have going on right now. This is just a few. I'm not even going to go into any kind of detail at all about any of these. I just wanted to kind of show you Christmas Bird Count, Monarch Watch, Project Feeder Watch. There's so many, and I could do a whole presentation on just the different kinds of community science projects. But here are a few. We also have some local Nebraska-based community science projects. We have this weekend, actually, let me give a big shout out. So any of you that are from Lincoln, we have the Lincoln City Nature Challenge. And they use the iNaturalist platform to do a a survey of all the biological diversity within Lincoln. And so you can take a snap a photo, and you're going to learn how to use iNaturalist tonight, and you can use that information to participate in this this BioBlitz of Lincoln. And so I highly recommend that you check that out, Lincoln City Nature Challenge 2021. We also have butterfly surveys, regal fritillary and monarch butterfly surveys, salamander search, eastern spotted skunk community science projects. Nebraska Xerces Society also is sponsoring. Xerces Society is an invertebrate conservation organization, and they're sponsoring the Nebraska Bumblebee Atlas. And this is a super cool community science project, all about trying to document the bumblebees, a thorough documentation of the bumblebees in Nebraska. And it is spearheaded by community science volunteers. There's actually, I do believe, Saturday, excuse me, this Saturday or next Saturday, I can't remember. If you want to participate and you want the link, let me know. There's a virtual presentation on how to participate in this project, and it is a really cool community science project. If you're a nerd about something, if you have an interest in sunflowers or RNA, whatever it is, community science isn't just about ecological projects. There are community science projects that you help sort the hundreds and hundreds and thousands of pictures from the Hubble telescope, and you help sort them. There's community science projects in anything that you are a nerd about. And I highly recommend going to scistarter.org, this website right here. This is a community science project search engine, and you can just type in your the nerd subject of your choice, and you can find a community science project. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. You should all have my email, and I'll give it to you at the end of this presentation. Okay, what's next? And last but not least, the community science project you are all here to learn about, the Nebraska Bird Month 2021 BirdBlitz. Like I said earlier, we're going to be using the iNaturalist community science platform. And so we're just gonna kind of move along through and see what this is all about. But first, let's just take a moment. Do we have any questions? Lisa G, if you are interested in participating, I do believe you mean the Lincoln City Nature Challenge, please send me an email. I'm gonna type my email in the chat. So send me an email and say, hey, send me a link, tell me how to sign up. Any other questions right now? All right, so we talked about International Migratory Bird Day and how it's now World Migratory Bird Day. We talked about the genesis of Nebraska Bird Month. We talked about what community science is, why community science rocks, the history of community science, some national and local community science projects. That was a lot. We did a great job. Way to stay with me, friends. So now we are going to talk about iNaturalist, this awesome community science platform. You can download the app for free from your app store. You can also register for an account online. It's an app and a website, and it's created for the purpose of sharing your observations of nature. That is what iNaturalist is for. So, and you also generate an official record of species seen at a particular location on a particular day. So you take a picture and I saw this species on this day in this place. And this is what we call species occurrence data. And this is important. This species occurrence data can be used by experts. And we're going to talk about that more here in a little bit. So not only can you make and share your observations on iNaturalist, you can get identifications. You can keep track of everything that you've seen, whether it's a grass, a beetle, a dead animal. They have projects in iNaturalist. You can take a picture of a dead animal and they'll help you identify what the animal is. They have all sorts of awesome projects that you can participate in. And you can also see and explore what other people have seen all over the world. These are all screenshots from a phone, just so you know. So let's figure out how this works. I'm gonna give you an example of how it works. So we'll take this pretty little flower as an example. You can this picture was taken inside the app, but you can add observations from your phone gallery at your convenience. So if you're on a hike and you're just snapping photos, you can add an observation to iNaturalist later. You don't have to do it at that time because your images are time stamped. We're gonna add this picture of this pretty little flower to as an observation here in this middle photo here. And then if you tap on, right here you can see, before you go on to what did you see, you need to add the date and time, which is it's time stamped on the photos, so that's already a part of it, so you don't have to add it, but you do just need to add the location. You can add, then you click what did you see, and the app will generate a list of visually similar or a seen nearby ID suggestions, or you can type your own ID, and then you just hit share. It's as simple as that. After you share your observations, the iNaturalist community, other people that are members of the iNaturalist community can confirm or refine your ID. So let me explain that a little bit. So here's that same observation, but on the website. And it's uploaded to the website, and you can see here at the bottom right here, two people. So these two people right here have confirmed that this is a seaside daisy. So this is what I think is really special about iNaturalist. When you have at least 2 or more members of the iNaturalist community confirm or refine your ID, then you have a research grade observation. Research grade observations are shared with other larger global biodiversity databases. And these databases are important for scientists studying biodiversity and species ranges. So you're contributing to science. And you can see, I think it's the next one, the next slide here. So you need 3 things to get a research grade observation. You need evidence of the wild organism, usually a picture, but it can be a sound. You can upload sounds too, which is going to be great for the BirdBlitz. You need a current location and the date where the organism was seen. And you need a consensus by the iNaturalist community about what the species is. And you can see here, right here, needs an ID, or casual grade or research grade. And once you get your 2 people or 2 or more people to confirm your ID, you have that research grade observation. And that's really what we're going for. So just like that, you take a picture, you upload it, you make sure you have the location on it. The app will generate an ID based on the location and the time of year and the AI within the app. And just like that, after you share it and the community refines or confirms your ID, you have helped contribute to science. That's all there is to it. And you can also help with other people's IDs as well. So if you are a nerd about different species or different birds, you can go through and identify, confirm IDs as well. So there are over 800,000 people in iNaturalist, 800,000 community members in iNaturalist, made up of scientists, amateur experts, park rangers, teachers, students, hunters, all sorts of people. And it's a community for anyone interested in nature that want to share their observations and help other people identify their observations as well. It's really cool. It's like a big hug. It's a big science nature nerd hug. Okay. So how do you use iNaturalist to participate in the Nebraska Bird Month 2021 BirdBlitz? So when you need to create an account, and once you create an account, I have more observations now. This is from last year, I guess. But this little tab right here is your index tab. You'll want to click that index tab, and then you'll want this side screen will pop out, and you will hit projects, and then you will search for the Nebraska Bird Month 2021 BirdBlitz. That's the name of the project, Nebraska Bird Month 2021 BirdBlitz. And then you will join. If mine says leave because I'm already a member, but it will ask you if you want to join, and then you join. And then all you have to do is add your photos as observations to your iNaturalist account, either your photos or your sounds. You don't have to post them in the project. They are auto-populated to the project because you're a member. I have a specific criteria, so it has to be in Nebraska, from May 1st through May 31st. It has to be a bird, a native. Oh, I think I do have non-native in there too. Bird taxon, and so anything that doesn't fit within that criteria won't be added to it. But it'll just auto-populate because you are a member of that project. You don't ever have to think about it. You're already joining. I will also make posts and fun things to add, because there's a journal that I can post in as manager of the project. And so there might be a contest where you can get prizes and things, and that's really all there is to it. Do we have any questions? And I whipped through that pretty fast. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm here to answer questions, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen just because I want to see some of you all. I guess you're all. It's like you're not even really here. Are you guys here? I see a squirrel. I want to see some faces. Show me your faces, guys. Anyone? Anyone? Oh, somebody's gonna do it. So I need to know some questions. I'm here for questions, and I'm also gonna share my screen here in a little bit if anyone is interested. I'm going to share my screen, and I'll show you what the iNaturalist website looks like live in real time. Okay, so I have, do you know if pictures from Merlin can be exported to iNaturalist? So are you talking about, Mark, are you talking about like your eBird account? Oh, like when I use Merlin to identify a bird? I don't know. Merlin is connected with eBird. So you will have, if you have a Merlin account and you're identifying your birds on Merlin, and you are like, this is my bird, and you've identified it, it goes to an eBird checklist. So it doesn't go over to iNaturalist. That's how that works. So that works with eBird instead of iNaturalist. Ellie, you do not have to wait till May 1st to join. There is, I'm gonna just pop over to the, yes, there's definitely a project for the BioBlitz this weekend. So hang out with me here and I'm going to assist you. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna show you my screen. Why not? Share screen, my friends. Screen one. Okay, so let's go to iNaturalist. And all right, so let us go to projects, and there should be a search for projects. How about Lincoln City Nature? Here it is. So I went up here and typed in Lincoln City Nature, and this is the 2021. And hold on. I don't know what happened here. Let's go back. Lincoln City Nature about. Let's hit about and see what happens. All right, so here it is. This is the website for, so you just search Lincoln City Nature Challenge, make sure you're in Lincoln, Nebraska, and then you hit join, and that's all there is to it. When you search Nebraska Bird Month 2021 BirdBlitz, not 2020 challenge, obviously, hit about. And, ooh, we already have 13 members. Ellie, do you want me to check and see if you are on here? Oh, Ellie, is this you? I think that might be you, friend. So I think you are there. I think you are on, you are joined, Miss Ellie. Yeah, woohoo. All right, what other questions do we have, my friends?
So Delaney, this is Teresa.
Yes.
Tell us. So this is anywhere in Nebraska, right? This is not just in the Lincoln area.
Nope. Hopefully that wasn't confusing. So there is an iNaturalist community science project happening just this weekend, just in Lincoln. That's a total
Lincoln.
Sorry, that was probably confusing. In May, which is 1 day, 16 hours and 49 minutes and 31 seconds away, the whole month of May through the entire state of Nebraska. Any observation?
Nebraska, okay.
Yep, and you can add bird call. You can record in the app. You can record the call, the sound, or you can add a photo. Good question.
So my second question.
Yeah.
So that's good. So when you're doing, sometimes I've put two pictures from the same observation, kind of from different angles. And they've asked for the detail to fill in the details for each picture. Is there a way to connect the pictures and fill in the observation, like the lat long, description of what you see, to have that apply to both pictures rather than having to duplicate it? The info?
Okay, let me, let's just see if I can figure out exactly what I'm going. Let's go to my observations. No, let's go back. I would like to, okay, let's go to my observations. Oh, I see. I was like, I don't really add observations on the website very much. So here's add observations on the website. Do you do it from your phone mostly, Teresa?
No, actually I do it from I'll take pictures with my phone, but then do the intro and the detail stuff from my laptop.
Okay.
I just figured trying to do all of that in the field just doesn't work for me.
No, I usually take it on my phone, and then whenever I'm like, okay, I don't really have anything to do, then I
can go in and fill out the details.
Okay, yeah. So let's see. Oh, I see what you're saying here.
Yeah. Right. So you take two pictures, but then it asks you, you have to fill out that bottom information twice.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to say that we found this guy in South America,
Yeah.
and we'll remove that observation, and loading suggestions. Sure. We'll say it's an Adrena bee because maybe it is really. And
It
then
is to be.
add a different photo, which is kind of the same photo, but they don't know that. And we'll see if it.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. Oh, wait, loading meta.
Yeah.
It didn't do it.
Right.
Because that's adding a separate, this is adding a different observation, but you're
It
adding,
must be.
I don't know.
That's what I figured is iNaturalist considers that a second or a different observation.
Yeah. So that's submitting 2 observations. Oh, that is such a good question. Will you send me an email and ask me this question? And I'm gonna ask my
Okay.
community science person that's running the city.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask her because I'm sure she knows. And that is a really good question. Because
Okay. And I'll send you the two. I had a picture of a garter snake that I took out at Spring Creek Prairie, and I had a close up and then a far away. I'll send you those pictures so you can see what the kind of, this is an example of what I'm talking about.
yeah, I get what you're talking about, because on the phone, when I add observations on the phone, I can add multiple pictures within the same observation. And that's what you're trying to do, right? That's what you're trying to do.
Right.
So
Right.
you should be able to do that here too, but I don't see how to do it exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you send me an
Interesting.
email and we'll see if we can figure that out for sure.
Okay. All right. We'll do.
Do you need to allow location access to iNaturalist in order to get the GPS coordinates, also for photos taken on the phone? Okay, so when, let me see here. Let's look at my observations of this bee. And let's see, that was Shami or Shami. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I obviously did because I tried 3 different times, so I apologize for that. So
the last one was right,
Shami. Okay,
yep.
Thank you. You want to know if I need to allow the location. So in order for it to become research grade, we need to have the location. So I don't, like, if it's at my house, I do not put in my address. I have a general location. This is Dewey, Nebraska, USA. This is like in the general area. It's not exactly where I live. You can also, it doesn't show it on the website. I know the phone's so much better. Let's see. You can also, oh, here we go. You can also close the geo privacy so that that's not open to the public. Okay, but you will still, it's just for the researchers that are using the data. So geo privacy would be closed, but and it wouldn't show up here. Let me see if I can do that. I want to edit. Let's see. When you add it, there's a I wish I could just easily tell you that. when you're adding your observations, it will, hold on, let's go back here. Let's add an observation. Thanks for hanging out with me, friends. I'm glad I can, thanks for hanging out with me while I'm answering your questions here. Okay, so location, geo-privacy, obscured or private or open. So let's say this is where we're at, but we are going to obscure it, or we're gonna keep it private. And then you update the observation, and so it's closed. So that's a way to do it. But if it's closed, I think it needs to be obscured so that people can see, like researchers can see, because the location matters. But using obscure, it will allow your privacy. Hopefully that answered your question. And also,
yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, awesome, cool. All right, let's see. Omaha City's Nature Challenge is April 30th through May 3rd. So everybody that's in Omaha has a City Nature Challenge as well. April 30th to May 3rd. So that starts tomorrow. Do you know if there will be a Nebraska Pollinator Week Challenge this year? I don't know. I'm not in charge of the Pollinator Week this year. I'm feeling like there probably will be. I'm not 100% certain. I do want to let you all know that if you are interested in learning, you want to know more about our events or our programs or the things that we're doing, you should, if you are on Facebook or on Instagram, you should come to Nebraska Wildlife Education. I'll put that in the chat, because that's where we advertise all of our stuff. And we also do super fun, we have fun, facts and photos and fun things. Nebraska Wildlife Education on Facebook and Instagram. Ta-da! I think, how does a bird go both to Bird Month Project and the BioBlitz? Gwen, I didn't understand your question. How do I smell? Oh, the BioBlitz for Lincoln, and then Bird Month as well. If you're a member of both of those, it'll just auto-populate. It'll just go straight to it. So if you're a member, you don't even need to add it. It'll just be a part of whatever projects you're a part of. You could also be a part of the Nebraska Natural Legacy Project. They have an iNaturalist project as well, and everything that they want all the biodiversity in Nebraska, and any picture of a snake, any picture of an insect, anything, it just goes right there. Butterflies of North America. Any picture I take of a butterfly automatically goes to the Butterflies of North America. So just the more projects that you are a part of on iNaturalist, you'll have more people that want to identify or confirm your identification, because they want your contribution to their project to be a research grade. So add all of the people, add all the projects that you are interested in, and you'll have more people identifying your observations. Awesome. What other questions do we have? I'm open for it. Tell me all about it. Oh, hopefully I said this in a way. It was a long day. This is my 6th presentation I've given today, so hopefully it all made sense to you. I apologize if it didn't.
Sounds like you can go get some fresh air.
Yes, I'm gonna be outside and like sunlight in my eyeballs, because I can't look at the screen.
Yeah, there you go.
That's for sure. Oh,
good job. This was helpful.
Good, good. And I love doing presentations. It's great. I can't wait, you know. I think the virtual world has been has its good, the good and the bad, right? I can reach all of you folks that I normally, if I was doing this presentation in Norfolk or Fremont or something, like you guys might not have come, you know? So just the ability to be able to reach folks virtually is really great. So I'm glad to be able to do that. And you all should have my email for registering on for this presentation. So anytime, if you have questions, you can email me, and I will do my best to respond quickly to your questions. Do people verifying my observation have special skills, or could my friends make the same mistake? This is true. That's one of the things. That's one of the things about iNaturalist that I was always a little bit like, So, but that's why you need two or more people in the iNaturalist community to support that ID observation. And also, I never, let's say, I see a wild bee. I'm really into my wild bees right now, and I see a wild bee. And I think I know what family it's in, but I'm not 100% certain. And so I just say it's a bee. I don't say more than I'm certain of, because I don't want to misidentify. So I'm like, it's a bee, and then I will let other experts. So that's why I'm a part of lots of different projects, because I want experts, people that know to confirm my ID. Hopefully that answered your question. Thank you, Kathy. And if there's no questions, you folks can trickle off as you want. I'm here until the last one is done with me. Hi, puppy.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Teresa. You're welcome, Ellie.
Thanks, Jamie.
You're welcome, Catherine.
Thank
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, Shelly. It was nice. Oh. Great. I'm glad that this was helpful. Hopefully this was helpful to you, Mark. Again, ask question. You can always email me. I hope this was helpful to you folks. You're welcome, Sarah. Have a good time. Have a great weekend, folks.